r/AskReddit by Redmond Dtes. What memory makes you cringe? Went on a date wearing a tuxedo and carried a briefcase to make me seem like Mr. Businessman. Chatted about upcoming business deals and stocks and stuff, which confused her, as it turned out her friend knew me from the local KFC I worked at the time and had already told her this from my picture. In panic I said she must be mistaken and excused myself and told her I had an important phone call to make, business phone call. Fled, got home, and never left the house for a week. A college called me and I told them I'm not interested because I thought they were kind of a step down from ASU. I got rejected from ASU that same day. I wonder why. I was at a high school assembly and got called up on stage for a surprise talent show. I panicked and ended up singing the wrong lyrics to a popular song in front of the entire school. To make it worse, I slipped and fell right in the middle of my performance. The audience's awkward silence still haunts me. I walked around a water park for a long while with a nip slip. Nobody told me. I eventually noticed and realized why I was getting looks and laughed at. I was 9 or 10. Probably 2 nights ago. Currently on holiday in Milan. Had an epic day going around local bars and perhaps getting a little bit too merry. Getting on the metro to go back to the hotel. It was busy. I was stood up. The metro jerked and I fell backwards onto 3 passengers who were sat down. I'm 54. For me personally, knowing that when I was 19, I was talking to 2 different young ladies, I had to make a decision. One was safe and one was spontaneous and appealing. I chose the one that was more appealing, and 13 years later I'm divorced, and it was hell. The one I didn't choose is super successful now and happily married. I don't regret it, but I do cringe lol. When I was working triage in the ER, I had a total mind blank moment and asked a double leg amputee if she could stand at the scale so I could get a weight. Her response was to lift and wiggle her stumps at me. I still want to die when I recall that. Another time, I had a patient who was probably in her early 30s accompanied by a man well into his late 50s. I asked who's with us today, is this dad? It was, in fact, not dad. It was her husband. I wanted to crawl under the desk and die. After that, I never asked questions like that. The more vague the better. The time in middle school I got struck with explosive, uncontrollable diarrhea in class. I ran out of the classroom with diarrhea running down my legs, and a trail of diarrhea led to the bathroom like an oil spill behind me. I accidentally said I love you at the end of a customer service call. My dad used to hit me a lot as a kid. There was one time where I was in the passenger seat and 2 of my school friends were in the back seat. We were on our way to see a movie. Probably 8th grade. I told my friends I was excited as shit to see the film. My dad reached over and smacked me in the face for cussing. It made me cry and I was super embarrassed and they stopped hanging out with me after that. Only one. I tried to show off new breakdance moves I learned off MTV at a funeral after dinner thing. I was 13. I was working at a gas station. This older lady came in and she was clearly too old to be pregnant, but she looked 9 months ready to pop. To make things better she had a hospital bracelet on, so I said something along the lines of, "Looks like you're about to pop." She looked at me and said, "I'm in stage 4 liver failure." I wanted to crawl up my co-worker's ass and die. I still cringe when I think of that. That's one out of many for me. I was drinking with my friend, a girl whom I liked. We had a nice conversation until I was completely drunk. Being completely drunk, I started telling her how much I love her and everything. But the funny thing is that she told me drunk that she liked me too, but since I confessed to her drunk, she didn't believe me, so I started kissing her, fell off the sofa and smashed my head on the table. I have done something very similar back in the day, but it involved vomiting. When I walked into a busy hotel bar to give the bartender a flower, cause I thought she liked me. Mid-shift. Friday night. She did not respond how I wanted. Out of desperation for getting a job, when asked what were my salary expectations in a job interview, I said anything above minimum wage, although I was overqualified. Ended up working there for 2 years on shit pay and lots of unpaid overtime. That's all folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more. Have a nice evening. Tell your friends about me.